A 90-year-old widow who seemed to be on the verge of losing her home can sleep soundly tonight. The community rallied around her, and today the city ruled her house once again code compliant. ABC 7's Ray Collins spoke with her and the Good Samaritan who worked hard to help out. Ray.
Haley, once again, social media fanned the flame of this story, even though the city says the claim and the threat wasn't entirely accurate. This was the sign that drew all the attention to a 90-year-old widow's house on Weber Street. It suggested the city was trying to steal her house. What actually happened was the woman who lives here, Marie Sikorsky, had allowed the home to fall into disrepair, and fines against her had allegedly reached $150,000. Along came Miles Gomez from next door, who was just back visiting his mother for a few months, and made improving this house his daily project. But despite his progress, he felt the city's tone wasn't softening.
I've said from the beginning that the city had a point, but they weren't wavering at all because they knew I was going to be leaving, and I felt like they were just like, well, once he leaves, then we don't have to worry about him defending her anymore.
And that's why Miles put up the sign last week, which immediately drew a series of contractors, donors, and a web designer who blasted the story on social media. The city wound up fast-tracking a code enforcement hearing, and the city spokesperson says some volunteer work by Sarasota's Revlis Construction saved the day.
A Good Samaritan licensed contractor stepped in, so then we had an inspector go out over the past couple days, take a look at it, and the recommendation to the special magistrate was that all fines, all costs associated with this case be waived, and that's what the special magistrate did.
As for Marie, she never thought the house was in bad shape in the first place.
There were a few rotten boards, and so when those boards were pulled off and fresh boards put up, that solved the problem.
Needless to say, she's relieved her neighbor's son Miles was home for a few months.
Oh, definitely, because when the city gets after you.
And as for Miles, he says he's no hero. He just did what had to be done.
I think it was just the right thing to do. She didn't have anybody to help her out, and I could see these fines were just racking up. So if someone didn't do something about it, they were going to take the house.
Neat guy. Miles says Marie was simply falling through the cracks with no family in town and no clue as to how to get help, Haley.
Yeah, it's amazing that he stepped in, and then everyone else who stepped in to help as well. Now, Ray, we've been getting a lot of calls, Facebook messages, Facebook posts, Twitter about how to help this woman. It's been all throughout the community.
Yeah, I think you and I both received a dozen emails at least about this story. It really struck a chord in the area. Once again, social media played a role in the situation's resolution, even though Marie probably has never even heard of Facebook in the first place.
Very good point, Ray. Thank you.